Hello everyone, welcome to Borthakur IAS Academy's daily newspaper analysis for 2nd July 2024. So let's start with today's topic. So today's first topic is Project Nexus. This is important from GS paper 3 economy and also important from prelim specific point of view. The source of this article is Indian Express. So let's start. Let's see what's there in the news. So current news is Reserve Bank of India has joined Project Nexus, a multilateral international initiative to enable instant cross-border retail payments by interlinking domestic fast payment system FPS. So what is fast payment system? Like in India we have UPI. UPI is a fast payment system. Now everyone nowadays everyone has a smartphone, and like transferring money is like in your fingertips, so that is a fast payment system. So uh, Project Nexus is basically connecting the FPSs of different countries including India, like Malaysia, Philippines, Singapore, Thailand, through this Nexus platform. So Nexus is also planning to extend the platform to more countries to broaden its base. So now let's see what is Nexus. So Nexus is a conceptualized by Innovation Hub of the Bank for International Settlements (BIS), Bank for International Settlements. It seeks to enhance cross-border payments by connecting multiple domestic instant payment systems globally. So as I said earlier, its aim is to connect the instant payment systems of different countries globally in a single platform, so that cross broad cross border transaction can be done with ease. The Reserve Bank of India has also been collaborating bilaterally with various countries to link India's FPS UPI with the respective FPS of for cross-border person to person and person to merchant, like between transactions in between two person, or transaction in between a person or a merchant, like, or any business. So our central bank, that is the Reserve Bank of India, is collaborating to do this. So let's see how this Nexus works. Before going into the process how Nexus works, there are three main players in this Nexus platform. The first one is the payment service provider, which will send and receive cross-border payments through Nexus on behalf of the customers. Like two people are there, one is from country X, one is from country Y. So this payment service provider will receive the currency from country X and then pay out the currency in country Y. Then there will be a foreign exchange provider which will offer exchange rates, accept the sender's currency, and then pay out in receiver's currency. And then one will be and the third is the settlement account provider. This is nothing but a kind of broker which will allow this foreign exchange provider to hold a account in various different countries. Like in country X, this settlement account provider will have a account for foreign exchange providers account, and in country Y also this settlement account provider will have a account of foreign exchange provider. So now let's see how this Nexus payment uh, process works. So basically this process works in a closed loop feedback mechanism kind of thing. So here this is sender X and this is the receiver Y. So now what happens is, the sender X wants to transfer 100 euros to receiver Y. Now sender X is in a different country. For example, she is in Italy, and receiver Y, he is in Singapore. Now sender will send the money in euros, and the receiver will receive the money in Singaporean dollars. So there will be exchange rate. So for 100 euros, for example, the exchange value in Singaporean dollars will be 150 Singaporean dollars. Now what will happen is this will take place in two different transactions. Okay, so when the sender X will raise a request in her source bank account that 100 euros needs to be transferred to Mr. Y, who is in Singapore, then she will pay out 100 euros from her bank account, and this will go through the source country's instant payment system, IPS, and then that 100 euros will be deposited in the foreign exchange provider's account, which is present in the settlement account provider at the source, that is in Italy. In this case, in Italy, there will be a foreign exchange provider account where 100 euros will be deposited. When this transaction is completed, a message will go through the Nexus source gateway that 100 euros has been deposited in the foreign exchange provider's settlement account in Italy, and then the same message will be transferred to the destination gateway Nexus, and then second transaction gets initiated at the destination IPS, and this destination IPS will ask the foreign exchange provider's account present in Singapore that 100 euros has been deposited in your account which is present at Italy. Now you have to send 150 Singaporean dollars to Mr. Y's bank account which is present in Singapore. So after getting this confirmation, 150 dollars will be debited from foreign exchange provider's account present in Singapore, and then 150 Singaporean dollars will be deposited in Mr. Y's account present at the destination bank. So after his account is credited with $150, Mr. Y will get the message that 150 Singaporean dollars has been credited to your bank account by Mrs. X. And similarly, Mrs. X will also receive a message saying that 100 euros has been transferred from her source account to the destination bank account of Mr. Y. So this is the whole process through which the Nexus works. So now let's see what are the benefits of Nexus platform. So the main aim of Nexus platform is to standardize the way how instant payment system connect with each other. Like for how different countries will be connected, there will be a standard platform through which all the countries can connect with each other for payment related issues, rather than payment system operator building custom connections for every new country that it connects to. The operator can make one connection in the Nexus platform. So now a transaction has to occur between Italy and Singapore, like in the previous example. Rather than building custom connections in Italy and then again in Singapore, both the countries can make one single connection in Nexus platform, which will allow them to connect to any other country present in the world. Now Italy can connect with India also, with China also, with Philippines also, with Thailand also. Similarly, Singapore can also connect with India or any other country for that matter, and they don't have to like uh, create any like custom connection in every other country. So this single connection allows fast payment system to reach all other countries on this network. So uh, all the countries have to come under this Nexus platform to access this feature, or you can say access this benefit. So Nexus could significantly accelerate the growth of instant cross-border payments when this process will be simplified. And will be at the fingertips of the customers, then what? It will accelerate the growth. Transactions will happen very often. So this will automatically accelerate the growth of the cross-border payments. Now, at present, the countries which are associated with this Nexus platform are 4 ASEAN countries, that is Malaysia, Philippines, Thailand and Singapore, and India will be the founding member and the first mover of this platform. So India will join these 4 ASEAN countries, along with these 4 ASEAN countries, and it will be the founding member and the first mover for this platform. So that is all about Project Nexus. Let's move on to next topic. So the next topic is world's first brain implant to control epileptic seizures work. So this topic is important from science and tech point of view, GS paper 3, and the source of this article is Indian Express. So let's see what's in the news. So the current news is an UK based teenager named Oran Nolson, the name is not important. He has become the first person in the world to be fitted with a brain implant, which will help him to get his epileptic seizures under control. And it is seen that after implant of this new device in his brain, his epileptic seizures have gone down by 80%. Okay, so let's see what is epilepsy. Let's understand what is epilepsy first. It is a condition that leads to recurring seizures. A person experiences jerking of arms, legs, temporary confusion, or stiff muscle. It is a condition related to the brain, and when a person suffers through this disease, he will experience jerking of arms, legs, temporary confusion, or stiffness in muscle suddenly. Uh, that will be out of his control. It won't be voluntary. It will be involuntary. A person cannot do anything about it. So this occurs due to abnormal electrical activity in the brain. Okay, so like sometimes the people who suffer from this disease will have abnormal electrical activity going on in their brain, which leads to these uh, symptoms. So there is no identifiable cause in nearly 50% of the cases. So 50% of the epileptic case are not identifiable, like exactly for what reason that person got epilepsy. So however, head trauma or tumors in the brain or infections like meningitis and genetics can also cause epilepsy. So in India, the fact is that in India 3 to 11 persons out of 1000 person have epilepsy according to 2022 Lancet study. So that is a fact which you can use in your answers regarding this topic. So let's see how this device works. So deep brain stimulation device, DBS. This is a device. This is a small device. Okay, so this is a small neurostimulator device which will send electrical impulses in the brain, and it will disrupt the or block the abnormal signals, electrical signals coming out in the brain, which causes this epileptic seizures. Okay, there will be a neurostimulator coming out from this device which will be implanted inside the brain of the patient, and that will give out electrical impulses in order to like cancel out the abnormal electrical impulses which causes the seizure. Okay, so you can see in this image, this is the device, this is the DBS device which is implanted in the patient's brain, and then there are two electrodes which are inserted. This is a surgical process. The doctors will insert two electrodes deep inside the brain in this region, that is the thalamus. Okay, so thalamus is what? Thalamus is a relay station for all the motor and sensory information. Okay, all the motor and sensory informations will has to pass through this thalamus, you can say this is a uh, cross section, or you can say a junction through which all the information will go through. So these two electrodes will be there, and as soon as there is some abnormal electrical impulse, these electrodes will detect those electrical like abnormal electrical impulses, and then it will ask the device, it will ask the DBS device to send electrical impulses which will cancel out this abnormal seizure causing signals. So this is how the basically this device will work. So that is that's how this device work, and that was all about this news. So let's go to the next news. The next topic is floods and urbanization in Delhi. So this is important, again this is important from for GS paper 3 disaster management, and the source of this news is Indian Express. So let's see what this news has to say. So the current news is unchecked and ill-planned urban expansion has led to chronic urban flooding in Delhi. So this news I have covered not because it is happening in Delhi. This news like the causes or the reasons why you can say that floods like chronic floods, urban floods are happening in Delhi are also somewhere like relatable to our chronic floods happening in Assam or Guwahati also. So that is why this news is important. Like you can relate how like infrastructural and infrastructural design and planning can affect a city's what water related issues. So the reasons behind these urban floods is, first of all, Delhi is a growing city, like Guwahati also now. In past 15 years, I guess 10-15 years, Guwahati is expanding in a massive manner. You can say, like 10-15 years ago, there was nothing in Guwahati, but now if you see, our Guwahati is crowded. Everywhere you can see tall high-rise buildings and all. Everywhere construction is going on. So this has led to urbanization, and urbanization will lead to these problems if not planned properly. So according to NASA's data, Delhi's geographical size has almost doubled from 1991 to 2011. You can see it has almost doubled in how many years? 20 years. 20 years it has almost doubled. So these expansions have mainly occurred in what? Peripheries of Delhi, engulfing the erstwhile rural areas. Now, so earlier the periphery, like the surrounding of Delhi, were rural areas. Now the expansion of urbanization has occurred in those rural areas. So one more data related to this is that the UN World Cities Data Booklet said that Delhi will overtake Tokyo as the world's most populous city by 2030. So that is a very big news, and it's also concerning. Like if Delhi has to overtake Tokyo as the world's most populous city, so somewhere or the other it is not going in a very good direction. So let's see the second reason. that is the topography and the drainage. Historically, all the cities in Delhi were built on an elevated ground. You see, it was built on an elevated ground. So, what happened? Cities were built in an elevated ground. The water coming out of those cities were deviated towards the lowlands, and in the process, it was percolated. It gets percolated in the ground, in the soil, and there wasn't any issues related to flood. But since what expansions occurred in the periphery, and uh, along with that high intensity rainfall and significant water runoff, the existing drainage is not sufficient to handle that amount of water, and that is causing like urban floods. Now, concrete everywhere. This is a very like uh, decisive factor why urban floods occur. Now, what happened is, due to urbanization, there are no open lands available. Everywhere there is construction, everywhere there is development, everywhere there is real estate coming up, which is covering the exposed land, like the land like where soil can be seen. That is all exposed, like that is all covered under. I'm sorry, that is not exposed. That is covered under concrete. When the open land is covered under concrete, the water, the rainwater, when it will fall, when rain will occur, that water won't have any place to go. Where will it go? And this concretization has left a very little room for water to percolate into the soil, causing floods as well as depletion of groundwater table. See, now this water won't be able to go into the won't be able to percolate in the soil, and if it doesn't percolate into the soil, then the groundwater table will also deplete. Before, where what happens was, in rural areas there was no concrete, everything was built of mud and all, and it was all open barren lands. So rain used to fall, and water used to percolate in the land, and that used to revive the groundwater table. But now, due to urbanization, everything is covered under concrete, so water is not able to percolate into the soil. So that is also creating another crisis, that is the groundwater crisis. And the fourth problem is, there is no water master plan. So according to experts, there is a consistent neglect of water planning as a resource in Delhi. And in the past 70 years, there hasn't been any comprehensive planning accounting for cities' water flow. So, like from past 70 years, the government is not planning, like where the excess water will flow, where the sewage water will flow, where the rainwater will flow through, and where it will go. That hasn't been done from the past 70 years. So 70 years is a long term. So if from past 70 years this activity is not done, so that is why that is causing repercussion in present time. And moreover, one of very big news is that Delhi used to have 100, more than 1,000, water bodies which used to uh, like take the burden of this heavy rainfall. During heavy rainfall, these water bodies used to store these excess waters. Now from this 1,000, only 400 can be seen, and the rest 600 has been converted into valuable real estate mafias. And so you can see that real estate mafias, they have like what like acquired these wetlands. You can say these are wetlands only. These wetlands, they have filled the land, and they have converted into high valuable real estate. which is left no space for this excess water to go run away. So this is causing the what you say, the urban floods. This is causing the urban floods. So that's all for today. uh, we'll come up again tomorrow with important news articles from 3rd July, and bye bye.